Somewhere in El Paso, Texas, a 3-story motel gained another 46 stories, all below ground. It's also now full of werewolves, fallen angels, and your ex, Dracula, the Lord of Vampires. This is El Paso Elsewhere. The game is set to come out this fall on PC and Xbox, and it's heavily inspired by Max Payne, putting a more colorful neo-noir spin on it. Here's the situation. This is a new kind of love story and a nightmarish one-way trip to a reality-shifting motel. You play as James Savage, a recovering drug addict who's just realized his ex Dracula is going to kill the world, and the only way to stop her is by fighting her directly. He won't be able to survive the pursuit, even if he does manage to put a stop to this arcane ritual. For one reason or another, every supernatural creature that has ever existed or will ever exist in the future is being pulled through the swirling void above you. But luckily, you seem to have a pretty good way to stop them. The devs at Strange Scaffold went with this neo-noir theme specifically due to its expanded color palette, and I think it's totally paid off. The colors and lighting create this moody atmosphere that's also kind of chill in a way. I think it all has something to do with confronting the pain of past traumas and learning to accept your fate, as long as you can feel like a badass doing so. At some point in your playthrough, the motel's roof gets ripped off, and I love how this opens up the levels and really cements the fact that you're not just in any regular old dimension. Now, let's take a look at some gameplay. This is an early level in the game called Bathroom Break. The goal here is simple: make it to the end of the level alive. Your main weapons are dual pistols, Uzis, shotguns, and wooden stakes, which are a one-hit kill. When you run out of ammo, you can always smash through wooden furniture and doors to resupply. The biggest draw here is the slow motion or bullet time. You can dive, leap into the air, and bounce off nearby walls to get more airtime or a better vantage point. There will also be a couple items to help you out, including Molotovs filled with holy blue flame and pill bottles to replenish your health. Aside from it helping to create this supernatural theme, El Paso Elsewhere uses monsters instead of regular old dudes with guns to create more variety. Having different attack patterns and behaviors to program made the studio's work more fun and should make playing the game more fun too. There's also a fully voiced story campaign and an original hip-hop soundtrack, a few songs even being featured in the game's trailers, which definitely add to this super cool, gritty vibe. If you're itching to dive into this one, I have some good news for you. A side story prequel sort of deal called El Paso Nightmare released on Steam last October. This game is in first person and has more of a survival horror spin to it. I haven't tried it out yet, but I do think this was a pretty interesting move by the developers at Strange Scaffold. And these El Paso games are actually the most normal games they've created so far. Ever heard of Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator? How about An Airport for Aliens currently run by dogs? They made those games too. Strange Scaffold has about 8 active team members at this point, but over 20 people have contributed to El Paso Elsewhere in one way or another. One thing I absolutely love about the studio is that they hire modders and other people with less traditional experience and give them a space to create and prove themselves. It does seem like the game dev industry is a pretty competitive space, so it's always awesome to hear stuff like this. In an interview at GDC a few weeks ago, the studio head, Xalavier Nelson Jr., noted that there's this huge pressure today for studios to create endless money-generating experiences. But this team wants to make games that move in and out of your life in order to make room for the next game you're going to play. He also warned us never to make a video game with a trench coat in it because they ended up having to remove the character's back and upper arms to make it work. They're sticking with the idea though because it looks cool, but wouldn't wish this pain upon their worst enemy. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to learn the tragic story of James and Dracula and experience their final moments together later this year. I'd imagine Strange Scaffold will be announcing a release date any day now, and I wouldn't be surprised if this one came to Game Pass at some point. Anyways, here are some other games with vibes that you might like.